Good morning, everyone. My name is April Davis, and I'm the Director of Member Services here at ACT-IAC. I'd like to introduce my colleague, Michael McCrae, who's the Membership Manager here, and he's also my co-presenter.
Hello, everyone.
I'm sure I've probably spoken to many of you today that are on this webinar. Thank you for taking the time out of your busy schedules to participate. We promise not to take up too much of your time, but I do believe that we'll be able to equip you with the necessary tools to effectively manage your corporate record from the ACT-IAC website. We do hope that the information provided in the webinar is a valuable resource for you. Before we get started, I would like to turn it over to Michael for a few housekeeping items.
Thanks, April. Thank you again for everyone who's participating. Please note that for the full duration of the webinar, all participants will be muted. If you are viewing this webinar via your computer or through the Join Me application and have questions about any of the content discussed within the webinar, you can message April and I through the Join Me platform, or you can email us at actiac.actiac.org, and we will answer any questions during the limited Q&A session at the end of the presentation. This webinar is also being recorded for future viewing and will be made available on the ACT-IAC Knowledge Bank if at any time you would like a refresher on the content discussed. Finally, if you have any questions after the presentation, feel free to email them to membersupport@actiac.org. Before we discuss how you can use POC functions to better maximize your membership, we would be remiss in not mentioning one of the many ways to get involved with ACT-IAC, or ACT-IAC engagement opportunities. These engagement opportunities are specifically created so that our members are able to collaborate with individuals from both government and industry around specific topics of interest, the planning of major ACT-IAC events, and other programming. This year, volunteers throughout the association have given their time and subject matter expertise in leading in the creation and implementation of several white papers, served on volunteer leadership, and have helped us plan several forums and our main conferences, such as the Executive Leadership Conference, also known as Imagination, our Igniting Innovation Conference, and our Health Innovation Day. Our engagement opportunities provide another layer as it relates to the ACT-IAC member experience and allows you, the member, the ability to provide the association with your strategic thought leadership. You can find these opportunities on the association's website. We will mention this several times through the webinar, so feel free not to write it down. But that website is www.actiac.org. When on the website, please place your mouse on the Participation tab at the top of the page and click the Engagement Opportunities button on the menu. Engagement opportunities are also featured in our What's Trending and Insights news publication weekly. Please note that some of our engagement opportunities may be time-specific, so it will benefit you and your members and the members of your team to view our website regularly so that you can get involved in things that meet your interests. ACT-IAC is unique in that our mission is to create better government, and our activities are outcome-oriented, with leadership from both government and industry produced entirely by you guys, our volunteers. Members can find value through our variety of programming, which includes our education and professional development programs, which are associates, voyagers, partners, and for graduates of both voyagers and partners, our fellows alumni group. They can help build relationships via our 8 communities of interest, our Small Business Alliance, which is focused on small business concerns, our Nexus community, which is focused on professional development within our youngest members, and our Institute for Innovation, which is focused around innovative technologies and how companies and government can innovate within the government space. Our forums and conferences are where attendees can learn about the latest technologies, government programs, and strategies. Attendees obtain a seat at the table, and they have the ability to hear from speakers from both government and industry and help them on how they can shape their thinking and the solutions that will benefit government and overall citizens. Future webinars will cover each of these programs and will show you the ways that you can engage with them in order to maximize your membership and to meet your company's specific needs. If at any time you or a member of your team would like more information on how they can engage with the association and truly get the full value of your corporate membership, feel free to contact the membership service. Our contact information will be made available on the last slide.
So your company designates you as the POC. You're probably thinking, that's great, but what does that exactly mean to you, and what am I supposed to do? Your designation as the POC for your corporate membership is actually a very important one. Because your company has designated you as the official ACT-IAC liaison, you should have a direct interest and involvement in the success of your organization's return on your membership investment. A common mantra and theme that you may hear from people in this community is that you get out of ACT-IAC what you put into it. And that actually starts with you. As the point of contact, you will receive a copy of all official ACT-IAC communications, such as the membership dues renewal emails, in the invoicing, conference registration emails, calls for volunteers for white paper development, and so on. But you are also designated as the person that casts your company's vote on ACT-IAC institutional matters on behalf of your organization. This could be for a change to the association bylaws or for the voting for the ACT-IAC Executive Committee nominations, which are the individuals from member companies that represent you on the board. I'd like to note that if you have opted out of receiving ACT-IAC emails, you will miss out on these important email communications that are sent directly to your attention. So please make sure that you're opted in to receive our emails. If you're not sure if you're getting all of our email communications, reach out to me and I can check for you directly. We also can assign a secondary POC or additional roles to your corporate account. We'll go into that a little bit more in detail further into the webinar. As Michael mentioned earlier, we do encourage you to take a look at all of what we have to offer to you as well as to your colleagues. You will see throughout the calendar year we offer meetings, events, and forums on various topics which include healthcare, blockchain, customer experience, and that's just to name a few that we've done over the last year or so. These upcoming events, meetings, and opportunities can be found on the events section of the website. Please note that your colleagues should have their own account for access to register for these meetings. You as the POC won't be able to register individuals for meetings that they're interested in, as everyone has their own unique login credentials for access to the website. There are only a few events that POCs are able to register multiple people at one time, and it will be noted at the time of registration.
We encourage POCs to regularly log into your ACT-IAC account, as it serves as the key to accessing your firm's membership. And it's important that you ensure that your record is correct, as it ensures that you receive the information that is important to you. Our website is built to cater to your individual needs. If you're a company that's focused on the workforce or involving the workforce, we have an Involving the Workforce COI, or Community of Interest, and that information will be made available to you only if you link your company to that appropriate COI, or if you make it an interest within our ACT-IAC website. To log in to your account, you must first go to the ACT-IAC website, and as we mentioned before, will be mentioned a couple of times, www.actiac.org. Click in the login button at the top right hand of the screen and use your login credentials provided to you by ACT-IAC. If you've forgotten your password, or if you do not have access to the website, you can click the Forgot Password or Create Account buttons on the screen and follow the prompts in order to get access. You can also contact the ACT-IAC staff for additional assistance at any time. Once you have logged in, please check your profile to ensure that the information you see is correct. This information is for your personal, and I repeat, personal ACT-IAC account. And the information here will allow the association to cater to your interests and provide you information that is relevant to you. Here you can view your groups, your interests, change your password and other login credentials, and view invoices for your specific ACT-IAC related purchases. What you see here is the way to access your POC functions. At the bottom of the screen, you can see the organizations that you manage. Most POCs have only one organization that they're the POC for, but there are some organizations or some individuals who manage records for multiple companies that have ACT-IAC membership. You will see them at the bottom for you to manage. If you do not see a company that you manage, you may not have been correctly linked to that company. In order to remedy this issue, please contact ACT-IAC and we'll make the change. Similar to your personal ACT-IAC account, your corporate account will allow you the ability to make changes to the information that ACT-IAC and our members as a whole are able to see about you. Our website is very forward-facing, and it gives members the opportunity to display information about themselves, which can be helpful for teaming opportunities or for potential business. Through your POC Functions site, you can view company transactions, including open invoices. You can edit organizational demographics and edit your company roster. Here is the link for editing your organizational demographics. Much like your personal demographics, this information will allow us to better serve your company by matching programming information to your firm based on organizational needs. At any time, you can edit your demographics as your companies grow or as your needs change. If you were a small business 2 years ago and now you've merged with another company, or you entered into the mid-tier or became a large business, we'd love to hear that information because there's certain information we want to provide and share to you. Our hope is that ACT-IAC can provide you with all the information you need as it relates to the government IT marketplace, and company demographics will help us informing future programming. Clicking here will allow you to edit your roster. POCs are allowed to add individuals from the roster and edit information on current members of the roster, such as changing their titles, phone numbers, and emails. If someone on your team gets promoted, or if their email changes, or if they take lead at another office in another part of the country. We want that information so we again can better serve you. If at any time you need assistance with editing your roster, the member services team is happy to help. And finally, you can click here to view transactions made by the organization, including open invoices. You can also renew your corporate membership here. Invoices for corporate membership are emailed in December and are due by March 31st of the following year. Additional transactions you may see on this page will include your corporate sponsorship. If at any time your company decides to sponsor one of our programs, the invoices related to those purchases can be found here.
Thanks, Michael. Wow, that was a lot of detailed information. My suggestion for reviewing your corporate roster would be at least 3 times annually, but some companies may want to manage it more. That is solely up to you. I would suggest that you do the following. Review that roster once at the beginning of the year, and that would be around the time that you receive your corporate membership renewal, email, and invoice. Once mid-year, around the June timeframe, and then again towards the end of the calendar year, October, November, right before the new renewal cycle happens. We ask you to do this so that you can clean your roster, as it may have individuals that are no longer affiliated from your company. This will ensure that we have a clean database and the right people from your company are listed. Please note that your corporate membership enables anyone from your company to have user account access to the corporate membership. Individuals must have a user account to access member-only content, register for meetings and events, and to participate in the various planning committees within the association. So you may be thinking that you want to add some other people from your team to help support you in the role of the POC. There are additional roles that can be assigned to the members within your company to assist you internally based on your needs. These individuals would periodically receive our emails and engagement outreach from our professional staff partners within the association. A few of those roles would be the POC number 2. This person is a backup to the POC, and they'll be copied on important information as it relates to the membership. It's important to note that this individual will not have ability to vote, pay for invoices relating to your membership, or add individuals to your corporate account. That role is solely the role of the POC, and it's not interchangeable. The second role would be a billing and finance contact. This person will only be copied on the membership renewal correspondence and or any sponsorship invoicing that your company has decided to partake in. And lastly, there's a sponsorships contact. This person may be the correct person for our sponsorship team to contact regarding sponsorship opportunities for your company. So those are the 3 additional roles. If you should have a need to add any of those additional people to your roster to help support you, again, feel free to reach out to Michael and I, and we can help add those individuals. So,
thank you guys again for hanging in there with us. We promised that we'd keep it short, and I think we delivered. Feel free to contact the ACT-IAC Member Services team at any time as it relates to questions and concerns that you may have about your corporate membership. Actively participating in the membership will allow you to truly see the value that ACT-IAC can bring your firm. On the right-hand side of the screen, you can see the Member Services team. Feel free to email or contact any of them at any time as it relates to the corporate membership. The Member Services team is as follows: Carol Miller, who's our Senior Director of Corporate Development; April, my colleague who joined us on the webinar, Director of Member Services; myself, Michael, Manager of Membership; and Angela Owens, our Member Support Representative. Feel free, again, to email any questions directly to any of the team members or to email at membersupport@actiac.org. Now we're going to turn it over to April to see if there are any questions that we received in the inbox or through our chat.
Well, looking here, it doesn't seem that we have any questions on our chat line.
Well, with that being said, thank you again for joining us. We hope that the information provided was helpful, and we hope that you tune into our future webinars around topics, again, geared throughout the association. Thank you.
Thank you, everyone.